I'm Dave Burge, Justamere Farm, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Our main business is selling registered Angus seed stock. I'm running right now about 26, 28 females. I'll be breeding 35 this fall, and ultimately headed towards 40 or 45. So this farm consists of 110 acres. I rented it for roughly 12 years, and about a year ago I bought it. I've got just a regular fescue. I don't have any of the novel endophyte. There's quite a bit of orchard grass mixed in. Some of the fields have a pretty good amount of Kentucky bluegrass. And I'm on a program, the past couple years I've been trying to seed 30 acres a year to red and white clover, about 6 pounds of red, 2 pounds of white. I've used straight Sudan grass, I've used wheat, I've used pearl millet, and I've got a 6-acre plot that in 2007 we planted with eastern gamma grass, and it did real well. It especially, I made hay off of it a couple times, but I also grazed it, and it was a real help during extended dry periods. And so it's 2019, 12 years old, and it's playing out right now. There's still some rhizomes, and there's still some grass that probably even this year will start in May, but I'm starting to fill in with other normal cool season and some clover. I've got an adjacent field that I make hay off of that is switchgrass, Indian grass, and big blue stem. The landlord, the guy I bought this farm from, owns that. It's about a quarter mile away, and 28 acres of warm season grasses that I make into hay. I started getting a little bit interested in rotational grazing somewhere around 2013, well, 2012 maybe, back there, and started playing around with cutting it up a little bit. I got down to maybe 4, 5, 6 areas, and then 2014 we pretty much jumped in whole hog and set up 16 paddocks and started out with all temporary fence. For the most part did not have the creeks fenced or anything like that. And then I started an equip project and fenced the creeks and kept the 16 paddocks and flash grazed the creek once in a while. And now I've got some of the paddocks are actually, I use high tensile, and then some of them I still use the temporary fencing. The paddocks are about, you know, they vary, but 6 acres. So in the spring, I try to run, you know, roughly 30 head, maybe 2 days, and just keep them rolling. And then it seems like as we move into you know, June, we're probably looking at 3 days, maybe 4 days per paddock. And the whole target and what I built everything on was I was shooting for 30 days of rest. With the rotational grazing, I thought, well, I'll just jump it up 2-3% and next year, and it doesn't work that way. But we have come out, the soil tests that I got back this spring, we've jumped up from the high 2.7, we're definitely in the 3s on paddocks where we were down in the 2s. But what I'm trying to do is increase the organic matter so I can hold moisture for, you know, during dry spells. And I think I've already seen a little bit of that. And the rotational grazing definitely has allowed me to be grazing when other people are feeding hay. I've already seen that. During the summer, there will be, in fact, there's some electric fence posts close here, but there will be a wire run right over the top of it, and 16 paddocks, and I've got 8 big tire waters. So for the most part, a big tire waterer serves 2 paddocks. The concrete on the bottom, there's 2 designs. One of them has you filling up to the bottom of the tire bead, making a slight V notch and filling it with silicone, and I do not like that. The only problems I've had have been associated with that design. Overflowing the concrete into the sidewall has been no problems with any of those. So I had 4 of each, and I've retrofitted the ones with the silicone to be the overflowed concrete.
Well, I've got 2 different stream crossings, and this one, the water's flowing this way. We put a little keyway in, and we put filter fabric down, and then we put a bigger rock, like a riprap kind of rock, and then covered it with 2s. And this is just, this stream doesn't have a lot of volume. It's just kind of like what you see there, you know, a couple inches deep almost all year. And it gives me a way to get across this creek with both equipment and cattle without causing a bunch of erosion.
I am absolutely thrilled with bale grazing. Through all the rain, and I'll tell you, right in the middle of the rain and the day after, there's some areas that looked not real good, but it seems to heal up really quick, even through the winter. And the one thing I've noticed is, of course, we've had a lot of rain, but all the cow pies seem to disappear pretty quick. I've taken some photographs where we've got real dense manure distribution, and that's what I'm looking for. I don't have a manure spreader, and so I really don't want to be cleaning a feed pad and spreading manure. I've posted some pictures of my paddocks, and I've had people calling saying, how in the heck are you doing that? And when you move an acre, it seems like the cows don't go back to the previous acre very much. So so you've got 3 or 4 days on it, and they're moving on. Now they do come back to the water, but and we've got heavy use areas around all the waters, so that hasn't been a real problem. The other thing is how clean the cows are staying. I think that has probably helped on my body condition is real good on the cows, and I think that keeping a nice clean hair coat has helped.
I didn't have a real strong sod in this area, and I was really worried that with the bale grazing it was going to really get torn up. The water is on that end of the field, and it was extremely wet. This was the wettest part of the winter. Over here you can see the cows pretty much ate the bales to the ground, and I rotated them to the next one, and I'm just very happy at how little damage and really good manure distribution, and real happy with what happened.